Hey guys, Brent Abernathy. Welcome to the Family First Life Gulf Coast new agent Zoom call on Thursday. Excited. We've had a change. Obviously, we've done this via conference call leading up to now, but excited to change and start using just being able to see each other and put names and faces together and stuff. And I think this is really going to help benefit moving forward new agents to be able to learn quicker. And we've got some exciting things in store for this call. What it's going to typically be is it's going to be a manager basically coaching and having a conversation with another new agent. Whether it's about their in-home, what they're saying inside the home, the structure, or, their phone script or the types of leads that they should or shouldn't be getting in their situation or their schedule, whatever. But it's going to be more of a one-on-one type of coaching situation where you guys can all learn from, watching that new agent who's going through those things at that point in time. Just more interactive. And I think that that's going to be a big help for you guys. So this is going to be the first one. Obviously, I'm excited to do this. I've got Luke McEwan here with me. We're just going to talk a little bit about a few things that Luke has experienced over the last really month or so that is massively important for any new agent to understand. Okay. And Luke, how long you've been with us? What, 8 months now? Something like that, bud?
Yeah, I started writing April 1st. So,
April 1st.
My first dial day was like March 29th.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Got it. Okay. So hasn't been with us too awfully long. And Luke's a good friend of mine here in Fort Walton Beach. His daughter and my oldest daughter, dance. They go to the same high school, dance on the same dance team. And Luke was running his own flooring and tile business. How long were you doing that for, bud?
17 years.
17 years. Okay. So that was what he was doing for 17 years and wanted to change. Came to me, wanted to get his insurance license, had no experience doing what we do, all that good stuff, probably like a lot of you men and women that are watching this. And he got started fairly quickly with us. But there's been some bumps along the way, some obstacles, some things we've had to learn, which, like I said, I'm sure all of you guys out there are going to be going through the same thing if you haven't already. And so my goal is to hopefully head some of those things off. Now, fair to say, Luke, that you were overly excited about what we do and how we do it and how easy what we do is for the first 2-3 months, like when you first started with us, right?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, like to make 10K in a month in the flooring industry and, building showers and all that, you're just killing yourself. And, I wrote 12K my first month, which, is in this business is not that great, but it was just like kind of an eye opener for me. I'm like, and, I went 0-12 my first time out. And just like ever since then, it's just been kind of like a progression, stepping up the ladder, just, trying to follow the blueprint as much as possible. But, things happen and I kind of caught up a little bit,
Right. So
I did a few things that people say don't do.
Right.
So,
right. And now early on, it was like, it was baffling to you that you can go into somebody's home for 45 minutes or an hour and make $1,000 or $2,000. And like you said, not have to kill yourself. Like I remember vividly you coming into my office time after time after time and saying, "Oh my God, this business is crazy, dude." And
yeah.
And obviously you had things that you had to learn early on, just like everybody does, as far as how to get better on the phone and leads and what leads
Right.
you want, all that stuff, right? Which as time goes on, we'll get into all that stuff. But you were at a point where you were working and you had gotten to the point where you were consistently selling, right around $20,000 per month and
Mhm.
working in the field typically 3 full days during the week, right? Most of the time your schedule would be Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Sometimes it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday in the field, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, if I book them on Saturday, I'm going, but like I haven't had that much success with booking like in the summer times,
Mhm.
or the time month. I've found it's kind of hard to book around here for
Yeah.
some reason.
It's a beach community during the summertime. People are at the beach, all that sort of stuff.
Right.
So we had to work around some of those types of things with your schedule, but you were at a point where it was like, oh my, and please correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I get the feeling where you were kind of at a point where you were like, this is so easy. This is awesome. I can go make money whenever I want to go make money in this. And then like you were on cloud nine, and then all of a
Hmm.
sudden kind of things switched, right?
Yeah.
So what was it, a couple months ago, I guess you were building up money, you were building up cash in your
Yeah.
account to where you could just use that money to generate more income and all that stuff. And then what was it? I know you get tell everybody what happened for like a 2 or 3 week stretch of time.
Okay, so like first of all, I was building some money in the account and all that, and then I went out and put a down payment on a new car. So, but I mean, it was for my wife. She worked too, so I mean, she does. I mean, that's just part of the deal. So I did that. I spent 5K there, and then I did like 5,000 remodel work. So I basically threw out 10 grand, which early on in this business, I feel is a big, people told me that don't do it. But I did it. And it was like, not a week later that I got COVID. I got COVID. I was out for about 12 days, 10 to 12 days. And in that time period, being quarantined, I got some major chargebacks. So it brought my account way down to an uncomfortable level. And I didn't get a check for like 3 weeks, pretty much like starting that, like at that point.
Right.
So, you know, everybody's losing mind. And then another thing that I was always said not to do is, well, on one of the new agent calls, before I'd even started, I'd heard Brent talking about separate the accounts, brother, or brothers and sisters. So yeah, separate the accounts. That makes it a lot easier, write yourself a check, as needed, which I didn't. So, Holly's sitting there going, where's the money? And with a couple chargebacks, you're digging a hole, or you're trying to dig your way out of a hole once you get back into it. So, I mean, without you, I probably would have had to hang it up, but I mean, having a
Right.
great upline, it just,
Well,
I dug my.
well, absolutely. And you did the work to dig your way out. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today is it's a reality. Like what we do, it is super simple. If you put the time and work in, it's super simple. Not saying you're going to understand everything right away. You're not going to. It is what it is. You got to go out there. You got to do it right. But I'm not numb, and we're not numb to the fact that as a new agent, there's going to be trials and tribulations, right? And the quicker we can stay on this even keel and not ride the roller coaster, the better off it's going to be for all you guys, the new agents, right? So in your case, and I think it just illustrates, like, we talk a lot about, look, especially for the first year, you just need to consistently work. Okay. Don't try and plan, a bunch of vacations. Don't spend the money on the remodels right away. Right. Or whatever. Build up that cash flow, build up that consistency of cash flow, because things happen in this business, right? And chargebacks is one of them. They're never going to go away. It's part of the business. It is what it is. There's ways that you can minimize them and help, save a few of them or whatever, but it's going to happen. And the quicker we can understand how to manage those downtimes and how to not let them negatively affect our business, the better off any new agent's going to be. Now, in your case, and just like we were talking earlier, you were like way up here on cloud nine. And then literally like 3 weeks later, you're in my office, like, the world's going to end. And oh my God, what am I going to do? And I'm like, easy, calm down. It's going to be okay. Right. But things like that happen. Yeah. Now, you got COVID. It is what it is. You got sick. Right. But I see it all the time. And you spent money on remodeling the house and a car. I see it all the time with new agents. They go out, they have 2 or 3 good weeks of sales, and they got a bunch more money in their account than they've ever had before. And then it's like, oh my God, what can I spend this on? What can I do? Right. And it's like, calm down. You'll get there. Right. But until, like, you got to understand the way, like, say, a chargeback works is when Luke was not working for those couple of weeks, he had those chargebacks hit, those policies cancel. And then when he did go back to work, when he got healthy and he got back to work, well, he had negative account balances with Americo and Mutual of Omaha because of chargebacks. And so even that first week or so he was back in the field, he wasn't getting paid for the business he was writing. So that's where the 3 weeks came from. They really didn't see much of a paycheck, and the world was going to end, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The world was going to end. And that was, I don't know, 6-8 weeks ago when that was all happening. And now everything's cool and back to normal, and accounts growing like crazy, and we're back to a consistent work schedule. Now you've experienced it, right? And so now you'll never go back to that same point again. You understand how quickly things can change if you don't work, right? And also if you spend a bunch of money on things quickly that aren't going to generate you other income as well.
Right.
So talk a little bit more about that. Talk, if you're talking to a brand new agent, right, that you want to have them not go through that world's ending moment, but also understand they can still do things they want to do and need to do with their family and all that sort of stuff. Talk to them about maybe what you've learned and how you're going to approach some of that stuff moving forward, so you don't ever go back to that.
Well, definitely, like I said, don't spend a bunch of money on stuff you don't have to. Car was, we had to have it. So, we had to do that, doing the remodels, going on vacations, you gotta have your foot on the gas as much as possible, and things do happen. Sometimes there's no way around it. I mean, people get in car accidents or, anything could happen. But for me, it was, I got COVID. So, I mean, it's all about the activity, keeping the activity moving and hammering through those first 100 appointments is, what I've come to, notice in the business. Cause like in the beginning, I'm always on the phone calling every time I'm in the house. You start to figure it out a little bit and move away from that. But yeah, it's all about the activity, booking as many appointments as you can. I mean, I haven't had very, very much success with the door knocks. It's all about the appointment. You're nothing without the appointment. And what I've gathered from the business, I'm sure, at some point I'll be able to go out and I've written a few door knock policies, but nothing super huge. Right. So, and I've heard of people that have gone out and written, Ryan who comes in the office here, he wrote like 8K in 1 week off of straight door knocking. I'm like, how is that even possible? But it's, for me, it's all about the appointments and the activity moving, and
and now writing 10 grand in a week it's like, it's not, I mean, it's a big deal, but it's not like you almost now you expect yourself to write 10 grand in a week, right? Close to it.
I mean, I had a slower Friday, Saturday than I usually have. It's just the ebbs and flows of the business. Like, I got to go out and crush it Tuesday, Wednesday, and end the week out right. But yeah, my last 2 weeks, I've written some nice insurance, for me.
Right, and that's the way it works, though. Is like, it becomes normal for you to write those higher amounts of insurance the more you do it, right? And it's just like door knocking. It's I mean, it's like, yeah, maybe you haven't had that much success with it yet, but as time goes on, it will become normal for you to write sales off of door knocks and things like that. It's just like a brand new baby learning how to walk for the first time. I mean, it's like they fall, they bust their head, they all kinds of stuff, and then all of a sudden one day it's like, boom, they figure out, I mean, their legs working the right way and boom, they're off and running,
The more you do it, and that's for sure. I mean, with anything, but I mean, I've gotten to the point now where I'm booking appointments and they're thanking of the book on the phone. It's like, what? That's so awesome.
Well, and I was going to have you talk a little bit about that too, because that's really changed for you lately. Like, initially, your dial days were typically, you'd start dialing at 8 a.m, and then, I mean, you would typically on a dial day only book maybe 10 appointments for the next 2 days, right?
Yeah.
And you would dial until late in the afternoon, early evening, and you would only book 8 to 10 appointments for 2 days. Now, but usually by around 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, boom, you're done booking, 14 to 16 appointments for the next 2 days. So what have you changed? Have you changed something, or have you noticed anything that you're doing differently that's led to that quicker dial days?
My script is, it's a lot cleaner now. As far as, everything I say, I'm not fumbling on my words or reading off of anything. Cause I mean, I feel like people can tell if you're doing that. Quick setting when I can, if
so
they're like,
explain that. Yeah.
If if I'm talking to them and they're like, hey, I'm in the grocery store, or I'm about to get my haircut or whatever it is, and you can tell they're about to hang up on you, just say, hey, listen, well, I got you on the phone real quick. Are you going to be around the house at 5 tomorrow? Or what time will you be home tomorrow? So I can drop this information off, just boom, real quick.
Mhm.
And sometimes say, well, just call me back later. But, sometimes you'll get a quick set book out of it, which it is what it is.
Right.
Well,
you just show up, and it's a whole lot better than not, having them saying, hey, call me back later. And then you call them back later and they're not going to answer the phone. Right. So, so it just gives you a few extra appointments a week, to be able to show up at their house.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
what, and I know now where you're at now. Again, I wanted to have this call because I do want to let all the new agents know that you, like, as great as this business can be. And I know you're back at that point now. It's like we've gotten through that rough patch, and you're like, oh my God, this is crazy how easy it is. And that account's building back up. And it's something where I wanted to make sure that we talked about, like, we do a good job of talking about all the good things that can happen, and being able, not only the money that can be made and the changes in finances, but also the way we can impact families and help. I mean, these people, some of the stories of meeting some of these people, I mean, it's awesome, right? Just being able to help these folks. But it's also, I mean, look, we got to be prepared, and we can't be numb to the fact that some days just ain't going to be good days. You know what I mean? I mean, and stuff is going to happen, but I'm proud of you. And it's really only taken from that point where you thought the world was ending. It really only, how much?
About 2 months ago, maybe.
Yeah,
or
maybe
a little more.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Right around in there. And now it's like, holy crap, this thing's awesome. And I got to remember that we're recording everything and not to use, the wrong language. I feel like me and you were just shooting the stuff. But anyway, it can happen that quickly. And what have let's take this. Okay. And then let's wrap it up for everybody. But to dig yourself out of where you were, right? So let's take the last 2 months and describe to all the new agents what your schedule has been, like what your focus and what your intentionality about your schedule and your intentionality about dial days. Like, what have your weeks looked like the past 2 months to get you to where you are now, where it's like, holy cow, this is unbelievable. It's awesome. Again.
Well, I mean, just my schedule really hasn't changed since I've started. I've pretty much been in the office every Monday, Thursday, dialing or what, except for when I took that, the time off, and just, booking as many appointments as you can. Like I think Monday, a couple weeks ago, I booked 20 appointments for Tuesday, Wednesday, and I ran every one of them, and I had some no shows and all that, but ended that week with another like 15. So I ended up 32, wrote like $9,800 or $9,900. And, that to me is just, that's insane money. I used to kill myself like we were talking about for, I make what I make in a whole week in an hour sometimes. So that's where I'm at with it. And, going out and helping the family, of course, you run into every walk of life, and it's just, it's a crazy deal. But I'm glad to be in it. And I did dig myself out of the hole, but without an upline like Brent, that's what the business is all about, is you're just moving forward.
Yeah.
And
yeah, dude, it's going to be fun. And I do want everybody to understand, I appreciate you saying the kind words, but that's who we are. That's what we do. And I want everybody to understand, if you're a new agent and if you're not reaching out to, we've got all kinds of leaders in this group, whether it's myself, whether it's Evan, whether it's Ty, whether it's Kiefer, whoever it might be, there's plenty of them. I can go on and on, right? Just look at the leaderboards and look who's writing all the insurance and who has the biggest groups. They know what they're doing and they're willing to share it, and don't allow yourself to get to that point where, I always use the analogy, like if somebody comes to me, Luke, and the whole house is on fire, it's going to be really hard for me to save the house, right? But if they come to me and say there's just a little grease fire starting in the kitchen, well, we can save everything at that point, right? But if you're not communicating, if you're not talking to somebody who knows the business better than you do and who's been through some of this stuff, if you're not talking to them on a daily basis, asking them questions, seeking advice, then all of a sudden you're going to look up and it's going to be like, damn, the house is on fire. I need help. Yeah. And it's like, oh, it's going to be tough, right? So I appreciate what you're doing, man. It is funny sometimes because, yeah, we do talk about, like, we don't say some of these things to hear ourselves talk, and but it's really cool to see what you've done the past 2 months and to know that we're never going back there again. And, it's really cool to see. And I did want to have this call today for the new agents too, because you've done the work and you've made the changes, right? But to let them know what some of those down periods can look like and why they happen and why we say some of the things that we say, but also how to avoid them. And a big key to that is communicating with people on a day-to-day basis and being okay with saying, hey, I need help, or, hey, I don't understand this, or, right. Being open to listening and being open to dropping the ego and because in our business, it's kind of like you, it's almost like run days, Luke. It's like, I used to feel like run days were like me going out and just picking the money tree, it's like, and so all the other stuff that comes about of the business is things you're going to run into issues, and it's okay. It's okay. So I appreciate the changes you made. I love working with you, and I know the next, as good as the first 8 months have been, and I know what the next couple of years look like too, as long as we stay that consistent course. And, you start getting additional bonus money coming in from, whether it's America, whether it's the corporate office, things like that. It's a fun ride. And man, I'm just happy to be in it together with you. Okay.
Hey, brother, I appreciate everything you've done, and thanks for the opportunity, and let's get it.
I hear you, brother. All right, guys. Well, thanks for sharing, Luke. And guys, listen, reach out and let us help you. But you got to do the work. You got to get out there. You got to do the work. You got to put yourself out there and have the discipline. But understand, it ain't going to be roses and daisies every day, and that's okay. But you will have plenty of days that are awesome, awesome, awesome days in the business. if you consistently put the work and time into it that needs to be. So you guys have a good rest of the day today. Let's have a good rest of the dial day. Thursday's always a dial day. So holler at us if you need anything. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.